Hi, Amanda.
Hello.
I'm Sarah, your RD. Thank you for coming in to see me so we can talk a little bit about your nutrition and things that you want to focus on. So, I see that you did send me your 24-hour food recall, and I looked it over. I want to ask, is there anything specific you want to start talking about first?
Not necessarily. I do know, I don't, as you could probably see from the food recall, I don't consume a lot of fruits.
Yes.
And then, yeah, I basically in the morning, I usually kind of just like eating stuff that's very quick and convenient for me.
Yes,
But
and I did note that. I want to touch
yeah.
on that a little bit later on in our session. Um, Would you say that this recall is overall what you eat day to day, or does it change on the weekend?
I say it's pretty much what I usually eat. I usually in the morning I tend to have pasta for breakfast. I always
Okay.
have like leftovers, and I usually will make like a pound of pasta that will kind of just like last me throughout the week.
Okay, so it's like leftovers from the night before.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
confused if you were boiling pasta in the morning.
No,
That
yeah.
makes more sense.
Yeah,
With the
so it's
leftovers.
usually like I cook it at nighttime, and that's kind of what I eat in my morning just because it's super easy. All I have to do is like pull it out of the bowl and warm it up in the microwave and
Got it.
stuff. So that's pretty a staple for me. Sometimes I'll eat like oatmeal for breakfast. On the weekends, if I do have more time, because I'm not like waking up for classes or anything,
Mhm.
I usually do try to make like eggs or something that's a little bit more tastier, like French toast or something.
Good, yeah.
And then yeah, for lunch usually kind of like switches up.
Yeah, you noted here there wasn't really a specific lunchtime. It kind of jumped from breakfast to snack. I noticed it was 2:30 snack, 5:30 dinner. Would you say that's typical? You said you consumed a plant-based protein shake. Is that something typically you do for some of your
Yeah, so I
days?
usually try to, cause like I like to work out and stuff, so I always want to
Mhm.
just like make sure I'm getting like enough protein in my body. So I do usually have like a protein shake. They're just like really easy and stuff, and I usually have that like I'd say around lunchtime,
Okay.
kind of as a snack, but like usually for lunch and everything. That's kind of what I usually consume. So
Got it. Yeah, and you touched on how I know you're a student and like the pasta is an easy thing to
yeah.
make in the morning, so it
Mhm.
totally makes sense that you want to do something quick and easy that'll fit
Yeah.
your schedule.
No, I'm very someone who loves like convenient foods, but
Yes.
for dinner I usually do try to cook.
I do that too, yes.
Yes.
It's always good to cook a meal in your home every once in a while. Then
Yeah.
it's great. Um, all right, overall, pretty much for the rest of your diet recall, you are consuming like a fantastic amount of vegetables and healthy foods from the looks of it. All right, looking at the recall again, I noted that you don't consume or you haven't consumed any meat products. Does that mean you're a vegetarian?
I am vegetarian. I do consume fish,
Okay.
and eggs, but I just don't eat meat products. I also don't consume dairy.
How long has that been going on for? Your whole life, or?
Probably for the past, I haven't eaten meat for the past 5 years.
Okay.
And then dairy would be probably the past 4.
All right.
Yes.
Do you feel like it's working out okay so far?
Yes, I love it. I definitely feel a lot better, especially after cutting out dairy. So it's definitely something.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's
Yeah.
new and in trend. Like for me, lactose intolerance
Mhm,
is
yeah.
a thing, and you can develop it as you grow older. So I think it's great that you're cutting out some of the foods that don't make you feel so great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. How do you feel that you're doing with your diet currently?
I feel pretty good. I usually, for the most part, I do believe I eat fairly healthy, other than I don't consume a lot of fruit. I'm not a very like sweet person. Like I love
Okay.
more savory foods,
You like those? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm the
saltier
opposite.
foods.
I love sweets.
Yeah, I know most people are, you think, but I like don't even crave candy anymore, which
That's
is like
kind of a good thing.
yeah, like
Okay.
even like fruit sometimes, like I love fruit, like
Yeah.
especially like certain ones, like I love bananas and I love blackberries and raspberries are great. But I even then like I just can't eat like large amounts of them because like I get too like sick of them, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like too sweet for me. But for the most part, other than that, I do love vegetables. I love vegetables so much,
Yes,
especially
me
like
too.
cooking them. I'm a huge mushroom and zucchini person. red
That's
peppers.
those are like 2 vegetables people don't normally consume.
Yeah, I
so
know. I
thanks to
love
you for
vegetables.
eating
I love
those too.
Brussels sprouts. Like I love like all the weird ones.
Oh,
Like
yeah. that is a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm
to
a huge
have.
vegetable consumer. I do try to make sure I'm getting enough protein. Like I always eat eggs. I eat fish as my protein a lot. So I definitely consume like probably fish at least 3 times a week, and
Okay.
same with eggs, probably 3 times a week, and then some days I'll just have like beans, or like I'll make like a nice little kind of like stir fry looking thing. So
All right, so you're getting all your protein sources.
yes,
So making sure with that.
Mhm.
How do you feel about your calcium consumption? Are you aware of like the vegetables that contain calcium since you're not a big dairy eater?
Not really. I mean, I don't really track my calcium consumption, I guess that
Okay.
would be. So, like, I do feel like I consume almond milk and everything
Yes.
like that, so I do know that contains a little bit of calcium.
Okay.
I do take a multivitamin too,
Awesome.
so I think that would
That'll
help.
definitely supplement you. with
Yeah, so
something.
anything that I'm not receiving,
Mhm.
but I don't necessarily keep track of my calcium consumption.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like the vegetables from your recall are pretty good. Can I give you some examples of like some vegetables you maybe could try that contain more calcium?
Yes.
Just for your bone health. You know,
Oh,
as
yeah.
we grow older, we need to
Mhm.
make sure our bones are nice and
Yeah.
strong. So kale and broccoli are one of my 2 favorite vegetables that have a lot of calcium in them.
I do eat a lot of broccoli, so.
Awesome, and you put it in your stir fry
Yes.
like we were talking
Yeah.
about, so that would be great. And since you said you are vegetarian, I don't know if you know about tempeh.
I do, actually, yes.
Have you tried that before?
I have tried it. I usually cook with tofu more than
Okay.
tempeh. I'm not really sure if there's like I know there's a difference, but if there's like a calcium difference in it. But I have eaten tempeh before. It's good.
Awesome. So that too, that's just another great protein and calcium thing to supplement into your diet. Also, I know that you wanted to increase your fruit consumption. One of the fruits that has a lot of calcium as well are oranges or orange juice.
Oh, I do like oranges.
Especially like those little cuties.
Cuties,
Sometimes
yeah,
I
those
keep
are
them
easy.
on my desk in my office all the time.
Yeah, those are good.
So you like them?
I do. I don't buy them that often, but I do love them. So
yes, they're easy to snack on. They have their own protective outer covering. You don't need to put in a bag or anything. Just throw it in your bag.
And what I like about them too, they're like one of the fruits that aren't like they're not like I don't want to say they're not sweet because they're sweet, but they're more like they have that sour taste to them. So they're like
you don't
really
like that super sweet.
Yeah, the super sweetness I never like, which is why I eat like blackberries or raspberries because I like the like almost bitter taste in them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. No, awesome. Hold on. So I want to touch a little bit on your eating pasta for breakfast as your go-to meal, and I think that if that works for you in your schedule and it makes you satisfied, then I'm all for it for you for doing what's easiest and convenient for you being a student and using up those leftovers because we obviously don't want to throw away food when we can use it. I was wondering if we can maybe one of the things from this session we could work on maybe for next time, as you said you do like to eat eggs on the weekend. Just because you eat breakfast and then kind of jump to your snack later, try to increase some protein into breakfast during the weekdays. Some examples with this, plus the fruit consumption, like you said you like bananas, with peanut butter, almond butter. Maybe try to switch off with the pasta on and off, just that'll definitely help with the protein for breakfast, keep you satisfied longer, and then also your fruit consumption, which will definitely benefit your body overall.
No, yeah, definitely. I could definitely try that. Maybe I'll try like also waking up just maybe a little bit earlier and making something for breakfast. I know
Look
like
at you, whatever works for your schedule. But I like the effort that you're willing to put into it. It'll be really great. And then we can just keep track of that. Just keep track of it in like a little notebook, and then we could.
I usually use MyFitnessPal to like track food, so I mean, if that, I like log my food in there.
Very convenient app to do that. Something else from your recall, I noticed that you're eating at times that you feel hungry rather than following a typical 8 a.m. breakfast, 12 lunch, 5 dinner schedule. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I usually just kind of eat like basically when I'm hungry and also like I guess, around my schedule too, like, because, like, I'll wake up, so I usually always have breakfast, because for me that's, like, a huge part, because if I don't eat
That's
breakfast,
great.
I'm very not functionable.
That's a
I'm
good
definitely a breakfast
thing to
person.
have.
But I always make sure I have, like, a nice, like, bigger breakfast that I know is going to keep me full for the next few hours.
Okay.
And then usually, like, the protein shake is something I try to bring with me to class, just because I know, like, sometimes I don't really have time to go home between classes, so I'll usually try to, like, pack kind of like a smaller lunch just to, like, eat between classes. And that I usually will pick up. There's not really a set time I pick that up. It's usually just when I'm hungry. Like, sometimes I'll drink the protein shake in class, and if that's when I'm feeling hungry.
Okay.
And then when I get home, I usually feel a little bit hungry when I get home. Sometimes I'll, like, wait an hour and then eat from class. And like I said, I just eat when I'm hungry, and then I usually wait a few hours and then I'll eat dinner. And I usually try to eat dinner at least 3 hours before I go to bed. I usually make that a thing. I definitely don't go to bed super early or anything, but I usually try to, like, have dinner early enough so I'm not, like, going to bed with a full stomach.
Yes, makes sense. Yeah, got it. So, like, from what I'm noticing, 5:30 dinner, 8:30 you have another snack, 10. So you're just kind of, I think it's good that you're listening to your body when you're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing it, you're obviously making healthy choices. So that's a pro.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you are hungrier? Are you do you go to the gym or do you work out?
I do work out. I try to work out at least 3 times a week. It's usually 3 to 5 times a week, kind of just depending on my week or schedule. I go to the gym, like, sometimes, or I'll do, like, at-home workouts, just depending what's more, like, convenient for me, but I'm definitely physically active.
Awesome. And do you feel like on the days that you do work out, do you eat a little more?
I do eat a little more. I definitely find that I do get more hungry. So I do try to, like, increase my caloric, like, consumption.
Okay, so
and
good
just, like,
you're aware of that.
Yeah, and especially on the days I work out, I do make sure I get enough protein. So, like, I'm very well aware on those days to, like, consume a lot of protein after my workout and just rebuilding all the energy.
You seem pretty educated on all this. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. How would you say that the total amount of food you consumed made you feel overall? Were you satisfied? Were you feeling hungry and you didn't have snacks when you needed them? Or
I feel like for the most part, I usually am satisfied with what I eat, especially on the days I do work out, because I find that I do eat more on those days.
Okay.
But I definitely find that some days I do maybe undereat just because, like, I feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like my body sometimes gets, like, full really quickly, but then maybe it wasn't me being full, and maybe I just, like, felt full kind of thing, and then, like, an hour later I do feel, like, a little bit hungry, but for the most part I don't feel like
you feel satisfied with what you're doing?
Yeah.
All right, good. So I just want to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling good about what you're eating and the times you're eating everything. That's a great thing to follow. And then, so that was basically intuitive eating. That's something that I personally follow in my home. It's, you eat when you're hungry because your body obviously needs that energy. And I think that's a great thing that a lot of people don't know. Like, it's okay to eat when you're hungry. Just make, like, the right choices, which you are with your protein shakes and your little vegan pizza pocket things, which I want to try.
They're very good. I
will have to look
highly
this up
recommend.
in the grocery store.
It's by the Gardein brand. Gardein.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but
right. Well, you are making awesome choices for intuitive eating, so I applaud you for that. Have you tried any diets in the past, dieting, or
I definitely
crazy stuff?
Nothing crazy. I definitely tried counting calories before, as in like at one point I was like not necessarily restricting my calories, but I was like counting them, almost trying to eat like the exact amount of calories every day.
Okay.
I just found that was kind of like boring, and I didn't really like care enough to do it. So that lasted for maybe like 2 months or 3 months, but that's about it. So nothing too extreme.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're off of that because we want to focus more on the intuitive eating, which you're doing right now, and there's a lot of misconception around calories and what you do.
Yeah.
So I think you're doing a really good job keeping on track with that. Mhm. So let's talk a little bit more about the fruit consumption goal. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this change to you right now?
I'd say like a 7 probably. Just because I definitely do want to make the change, and I definitely would love because I know all like the nutrients and how good they are for you and stuff. I know it's really important to consume fruits.
Okay. So you seem understanding of why we need fruits for our body because it nourishes us and helps us grow. Also on a scale of 10, let's do this. How would you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 your capability of implementing this into your diet before our next session?
I'd say probably a 7. I think again, it's definitely impossible. It's just if I'm gonna do it, but I think it's definitely I could do it, especially if I buy the fruits. I think, especially the ones that I do enjoy eating.
Like you said, blackberries, bananas.
Yeah, so if I have those, I think on hand, because most of the time, if not in my fridge, exactly. I'm not gonna so if I make it to write on my grocery list that this is something I need to pick up and it's there, I'll probably eat it because I don't like wasting food. So
what do you say we make that a goal for next time? You write it down on your fridge or on a grocery list?
Yes, I'll definitely add that to my next grocery list when I go grocery shopping, and then I'll try eating them and see how much I'm eating them.
Awesome. And I can also give you a pamphlet on some fruit and protein type of combo snacks and meals to give you some ideas when you're shopping too. I can give you some info on that. All right. The last thing I wanted to touch on was your water consumption. You said you consumed about 60 ounces of water throughout the day. So tell me a little bit about, do you chug it all at once? Probably not. Tell me a little bit about how you cycle through your water.
I have this really big water bottle that I have, and it fits, I'm pretty 64 ounces in it. Or not 64, I'm sorry. It fits 32 ounces.
Okay.
It fits 32 ounces in it.
So you drink 2 of those then?
Yes, I usually try to drink 2 of them. And honestly, I just drink it throughout the day. I'm not very a specific I have to drink a cup of water before my breakfast or a cup before my lunch. I definitely don't do that.
Over that type of
No, I just usually just sip on my water throughout the day. I get thirsty when I eat, so I just tend to kind of drink while I'm eating just for that reason. But I just have it with me at all times, and I always just make sure I'm drinking at least 2 of them, or I try to drink 2 of them. And I just kind of whenever I have it with me, I just constantly drinking.
I do that as well. I keep my water bottle on my desk, and we have one of those refillable water stations in our office. So definitely something, it's eco-friendly to have a reusable water bottle, and I applaud you for doing that and drinking your water because a lot of people are failing to get the recommended water a day.
I usually don't drink I'm not a huge juice or soda person.
I was gonna ask, do you drink coffee or tea?
I do drink tea. I'm a huge herbal tea drinker. Green tea also. So sometimes usually mornings I'll try to have green tea. At night I usually have chamomile tea or peppermint tea. They're herbal ones, so there's no caffeine in them. But
that's also water with some
that's more water I probably drink than that I don't really count as water.
That's great.
Yeah. So
awesome.
But yeah, other than that, I don't really drink other stuff other than tea or cakes.
All right. So from our session today, we basically touched on your breakfast choice. Try to do a little bit more fruit protein in the morning. That way you can, one of our goals is increasing fruit. That's 2 for 1 is increasing that in the morning. Try just doing on and off days like we talked about. Just keep track of it. Right, let me know next time how it made you feel, if it was too hard, and then we can work on something if it's not fitting with your schedule for next time. So is that okay? We can work on that for one of our goals?
Yes.
All right. And then I love how you brought up the fruit, put it right at the top of your grocery list. So it's right there on your list in front of you, and you go to the store, pick them up, because like you said, having those in your house, you'll be more prompted to eat them, seeing them, and then so you don't want food to spoil. So a lot of people try to eat their food before it spoils. So that was another goal. And keep up with the intuitive eating, because I notice a lot of people think that it's not okay to intuitive eat. They think that they have to follow a set schedule, otherwise it's not okay. But I think that's a great thing of what you're doing, because I try to promote to all my clients like intuitive eating is what we need to do. So definitely stick with that. What are questions? Hold on. All right. So Amanda, is there anything else I can help you with, or any last comments you want to talk about before we wrap up our session?
I think that's it. I think we covered everything.
You feel okay about what we can work on for
I
next
definitely
week?
find that those are achievable goals that I'll definitely start actively working on probably tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I am glad to hear your enthusiasm, and I will see you next time for our next meeting and see how things are going.
Thank you.